Welcome back to another episode of The Clueless Mum with me, Nadia Essex. Hello, welcome to another week. How are you all? I hope you're having a fabulous week. I have just returned from my very first PTA meeting. Yes, I am jumping 2 feet into school mum life, and I've put myself forward for the PTA, not in an important role. Definitely not. They couldn't trust me. I don't know what I'm doing. Clearly, my podcast is called The Clueless Mum. It's true, but just as an ordinary member, very excited about that, and I feel good. I feel confident that I'm kind of dipping my toe in. I think I've said this to you guys before, but I really want to kind of find my community where I live. I want to be involved in things. I'm a single parent. I moved down from London a year and a half ago. I want to make friends. I want to create a life for us. And I think I'm only going to do that if I put myself out there. So if you're a member of the PTA, or if you've ever been a member of a PTA, please let me know what happens. They didn't really explain what happens. This meeting was very much to kind of disband the old committee and rehire a new committee. And they talked about projects from last year, and obviously we weren't there last year. They didn't really want to talk about future stuff because they felt that was for the new committee. So this was quite a quick meeting, which I was grateful for because I am exhausted as per usual. But it was really good. It was, a lovely chance to meet and mingle, and they had wine. I did not partake, but they had wine, and it was just really nice. Lovely, lovely evening, and hopefully some really exciting things. It's just, I feel like it's a good way to get to know the school too, because obviously I've never done this before. Zeke is my first and only child, and this is our first experience with the school system. So I kind of wanted to be let me give it a go. This time next year, I may be stepping down because I regret that decision very much. But right now I'm feeling excited. The only problem is that they do all the meetings in the evenings. And they're really proud of that. They're like, yeah, we support working parents. We don't expect them to take time out of their day to come to a PTA. So we do all our meetings in the evening. And I was like, yeah, I'm a working parent and I'm a single parent. I don't have childcare of an evening. So, although I applaud your way of thinking, daytimes are better for me. But it's okay because I just need to build more network in the community and people that can babysit. And one of my friends is my neighbour, and her daughter actually came and sat with Zeke was in bed, but came and sat while he was and babysat for me this evening. So it's quite handy to have people locally. So that was really good. And then this morning I went to a place, or it's a thing called the Mum Club, and they have different franchises all over the country, I believe, and it's pretty much does what it says on the tin. It's a mum club, and they do brunches and coffee mornings and talks. And actually, my client initialed, the jewelry that I never take off, and she does the jewelry. She's on my app, and her jewelry is next level, waterproof, tarnish free, absolutely amazing. This is not an ad. This is just telling you who she is. She had a pop-up at the Mum Club, and I went down to have coffee with her, catch up, and sort of help her with the pop-up. And obviously it's a Mum Club, so I was like, 100%. And it was lovely, but I literally was surrounded by babies. And a couple of them let me have cuddles with their babies, and I was like, broody. Oh my goodness, bro, so broody. Baby cuddles, they can't get away from you. They can't wriggle away. My son very rarely lets me cuddle him now. He'll ask for cuddles when he wants them, but when I want to cuddle, it's very rare that he'll let me embrace him, properly and have a proper cuddle. Whereas with babies, they let you cuddle them and you hold them and you smell. Oh, made me so broody. It was really, and I've been having a really tough couple of weeks, and actually that moves quite nicely into what I wanted to talk about. Why doesn't anybody talk about empty nest syndrome when your child starts school? I understand people talk about it when they go off to university and, fly the nest at 18 or whatever it is, or however old it is. I've got it, and my son is 4. Darlings, I am bereft. I cried in Costa 2 days ago because a mum walked in with her baby in the pram and she had a friend and they were getting coffee, and I was like, I'm never gonna have that moment again with Z. Cried in Costa. Can you believe it? I'm so emotional. I keep seeing parents with their toddlers and their babies. When I go out in the day, you really notice how many parents are coming out of the soft play or going for coffee, and I'm never going to have those moments again. And I know people say, oh, but you've got the holidays. It's not the same. There's something so unbelievably special about, we used to wake up and maybe have a chilled morning, and then we'd go to the soft play at 9 in the morning, and he would play and I'd have a coffee and maybe catch up with some friends or maybe do some work or maybe read my book. Remember, I did that a couple of times. I took my book to the soft play and it was just delightful. He would play, I'd have a coffee and read my book, and it was magical. And it was just those special moments in the day where everybody's kind of at work, kids are at school, obviously, and it's you and your child, your baby, your toddler. And I'm never going to have that time again. And it feels it feels like such a big change. He used to go to nursery 4 days a week from 7:30 till 6 p.m. So in the grand scheme of things, he was away from me a lot longer during the week, but I am struggling so much more with him being away, even though it's a shorter amount of time, but it's every day. And I just suppose it's the permanency. Is permanency a word? It's the permanentness. It's the permanent. It's permanent. This is it now, forever. And no one warned me. Nobody. Nobody warned me. Nobody got me going. I was so focused on surviving the summer holidays that now he started. I think this is his 3rd week. I'm still extremely emotional. Extremely emotional. And so I laugh about it, but honestly, it's embarrassing how emotional I've been. He seems to have settled in quite well. We are now definitely having less meltdowns after school. He's opening up thanks to your advice. And he really is kind of getting with the flow, which is great. And I'm really happy. It's me that's the hot mess. I'm still not over it. I can feel that we're getting a lot more comfortable. I can feel that the routine is happening and we're slowly but surely we're really getting there. But 2 things. One, how bloody quickly do the days go when you have to pick them up so early in the day? Literally, I'm used to picking them up at 6 p.m. and now it's what? Between 3:30 and 4:15. What on earth? Just that little time at the end of the day is huge. And the afternoons are so long. But the daytime goes short. It's almost 2 o'clock. I'm having to kind of wind down my work so that I can be ready to leave to go and pick him up. And 2 o'clock is basically lunchtime. So that's been really weird, working out how to do that. So trying to get into the routine has been difficult for me, definitely. And what I found is that because I'm trying to cram a full day into like 8:30 till say 3:30, I'm really working at double speed. So then by the time I get home with Zeke, I am exhausted because I'm like, take my foot off the gas, and then I'm exhausted, and then the evenings drag on. So I need to find the balance, which has been difficult, but I'm on the right track, I think. I mean, ask me again next week, and the week after, and the week after that. At some point, hopefully I'll nail it.
This week's podcast is in collaboration with Patients Lives Matter. In 2023, Jay lost his lovely son Balram, and a year later is still waiting for the truth and answers around his death. They need your support in creating an independent body to investigate complaints against the NHS staff and bodies, so that no one has to go through what Jay and his family went through. You can donate now on their GoFundMe or go to their Instagram at Patients Lives Matter to hear the story and find out more.
Well, thank you for joining me once again. And I've just got my phone up because last week I touched on my doctor's appointment that I had this week with my GP, obviously, about my fibroids, because I wanted a scan to see if my fibroids had shrunk, and they have. They have. So when I originally went for the original scan, it was about a year and a couple of months ago. So over a year ago. And I had 3 fibroids that they could see. And one of them was 17 by 10 by 14 millimeters. One of them was 8 by 11 by 10 millimeters. And one was 15 by 10 by 15. Now, I don't know how big that is. I don't have a ruler. But that's like what? Well, 10 millimeters is a centimeter, right? So we're talking like 2 centimeters. You can work it out. Rescan about a month ago. The results are in. The scan only showed 2 fibroids. So one has completely gone. One size is 6 by 5 by 7 millimeters. And the next one is 7 by 5 by 5 millimeters. Darlings, that is phenomenal. One has completely gone, cured, away, disappeared, wonderful, see you later, alligator. And the other 2 have halved, if not more than halved in size. And that is no medication at all, 100% lifestyle change. And I'll quickly run through some of the things that I've done so that you can, hopefully, if you've got fibroids. Now, obviously, the same thing with everything. This may not work for every woman, because if it did, well, then every woman would be doing it. It's the same as diets. Diets don't work for every woman. The same thing. We have to find what's good for you. But this has removed 1 fibroid and shrunken the 2 that much. So this is basically what I do. I start my morning with a hot water with fresh lemon and ginger. And that is always how I start my day. And I really feel like that cleans out my internal system and is really good for immunity as well. You're not going to like this very much. I didn't like it, but it's the truth. I cut out alcohol, and I know that's going to sting and be so annoying because I didn't want to cut out alcohol. I love alcohol. Alcohol just doesn't love me. And it got to a stage where I would not drink even 3 days in the run up to my period, and it would make a difference to the pain of my period. And then when I started drinking, didn't drink for a week before my period, the pain was noticeably different. So then I kind of had to admit to myself that alcohol is playing a part here in the pain levels of my period. So I've cut down my drinking. I've gone from about 60 units of alcohol a week, which I think works out at like, I think there's like 10 units in a bottle of wine. So that's like 6 bottles of wine a week. Probably more than that, to be fair. I was probably doing more than 6 bottles of wine. Plus, when you go out and you drink vodka and a limoncello here and there, but a lot of alcohol. And now I drink, so in a month, I've had 2 glasses of wine, 2.5 glasses of wine maybe in a month. And last month, I don't think it was it last month or the month before, I didn't drink a thing. So my alcohol consumption has radically changed, and it has radically improved my life for the better. And so much so that my fibroids are on track to disappear, hopefully. Next thing, processed food. I cleaned up my act, literally. Not eating as much processed food, and really importantly, upping my protein. And I know that word gets banded around. I actually hate it. I cringe myself out. Eat protein. It makes me cringe because everybody's like jumping on the buzzword of protein. But I massively upped my protein levels, and I stopped eating carbs at breakfast. And when I say carbs, I mean bread, pasta, rice, and potatoes. I don't mean like, I know bananas have carbs and all that sort of thing. I mean like the carbs, the 4. And stopping eating bread specifically at breakfast made a huge difference. And adding more protein to my mornings made a massive difference. And then the wonder thing, and I'm talking like Dr. Barbara learning again from TikTok, is the most amazing castor oil. If you don't know about castor oil and you've got fibroids or endometriosis or any womb problems at all, or even any digestive issues, castor oil, my friend, is your friend. This one that I use is Absolute Aromas. I've actually got it on my Instagram highlights. They sell it on Amazon. I think they might be out of stock at the moment, but have a look on my Insta highlights and you'll see any organic castor oil will do. This one I like because it was really cheap, but really like it's organic castor oil, right? And I rub that on my I'll pour that into my belly button, and I'll fill up my belly button basically, and then I'll massage that liquid into my lower tummy and like down into my like womb area, and then I'll give it about 10-15 minutes to let that kind of air dry, and then I'll pull up my Bridget Jones pants and I'll go to sleep. And I do that when I can remember. I do that like every other day, but I tend to do that at least twice a week. Not when I'm on my period. I'll take a break of doing it when I'm on my period, but when I'm off my period, I like to do it twice a week. I try and do it every other day if I can remember, but I'm telling you, that has made a significant difference. It's been the crazy thing, it's been January I kind of started tracking my periods. Oh, and I have an app tracker for your periods. Track your app, track your periods. So my app is called 28. Again, this is not an ad. They do not pay me to say anything like this. It's just genuinely what I use, and it tracks your period. There you go. And so the moment you can see, yes, darlings, I am on my period. I am in my menstrual cycle, and I'm in the restore. And it says 5 days until your period ends. And it tells you, it gives you advice. This is what I like about this one. It gives you advice on nutrition. It gives you advice on insights, working out. If you want to pay for the upgrade, this is all free as is, but you can pay to like upgrade, and it's your AI companion. You can get like an AI companion, and then it's got like a today's workout, like a 20-minute stretch. All that's completely free, and then a nutrition list as well of like what you should be eating. Iron-rich proteins are the focus during menstruation, and I do have low iron. I'm not anemic, the doctor said. A normal iron level is anything from, she said, I think 30 to like 150, and my iron was at 16, so I'm very low. But 15 and below is like worrying, so I'm not quite worried on the worrying level yet. But if it goes any lower, I will be. And so, and they're always like, oh, take some over-the-counter supplements. I'm like, I don't know. I keep hearing that the over-the-counter supplements are no good. So I've just really been trying to up my iron naturally. More broccoli, more spinach, a lot of meat. Again, protein, and having like a lot of red meat, steaks, eating a lot of steak, ground beef, that type of thing. So I'm going to go back in 3 months and see again if naturally I have raised my iron levels at all, without taking like an iron supplement, but maybe not. I'll see how it goes. I'll keep you informed. But yeah, so that's my winning formula that has nearly, well, gotten rid of one fibroid, shrunk the two others by over half, and hopefully if I keep going, I've only been doing it 9 months, so if I keep going, there's no reason why the other two won't shrink to nothing as well and will disappear. So that's the plan. I'm going to heal my fibroids naturally. So lemon and ginger fresh in the morning. I always have a shot of kefir as well for gut health. Don't think that's got anything to do with my fibroids, but I do recommend having a shot of kefir, the drink, not the yogurt, like the liquid, natural as well, not full of chemicals. It's fantastic. An actual kefir, like go and get the organic kefir. Don't buy like the little Actimels or whatever that are full of sugar. Natural kefir, shot in the morning, keep your gut good, up your protein, lower your processed foods. And when I say lower your processed foods, all I simply mean is just cook your food from scratch. Stop getting the takeaways, stop buying the ready meals, cook the food what you want to eat, but cook it from scratch. Castor oil is your best buddy. It is cheap, it is available everywhere, and it is life changing. And the sticking point, I think, for me massively, but when you do it, you will see such a difference, is no alcohol. Cut down your alcohol before your period, and by goodness, will you see a difference? I promise. And do that a few periods and have like, my periods have just got lighter and lighter and lighter. Like in January, I was doubled over, wanting to call an ambulance, 10 out of 10 pain. This period, I would say the pain level is like 2 or 3, literally. I'm still heavy periods, and hopefully once the fibroids go and things start like moving down, that will be the next thing that starts to get better. But it's the pain itself is life changing, because I was dreading my periods. I had actual anxiety around my periods, because when I knew it was coming, I started getting anxiety because I knew that the train wreck of pain was coming. And now I'm getting to a stage where I still get a little nervous because I'm like, oh, is it going to be a bad one? And then it's not. And I'm like, I've done it. Now I've got the proof as well that I actually am healing my fibroids naturally. And if I've done it, darlings, try it, because you may be able to too. You may not, but it's worth a try. It's a big sacrifice and it is difficult, but that's why I think it's taken me 9 months, because I haven't gone crazy with it. But I am motivated to step it up again. So watch this space, because I'm going to be a protein queen by the end of this year, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. Need to try and get some weight off. Still trying to get some weight. I'm desperate not to try Ozempic, but I've got to get rid of some of this weight. I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I'm losing weight. And then I see myself and I'm like, oh, I'm not. I have body dysmorphia, but the other way, like I think I'm really skinny. And then I see pictures of myself in videos and I'm like, oh, I'm really not. It's really unfair that I have it the wrong way round. Alas, I do. And I'm desperate not to go on Ozempic. I don't want to try the skinny jab, but I will if nothing else works, because the food noise in my head is like, oh. So, but we can pick that up next week because you never know. I might get a collab with a skinny jab, and if I do, I'll take it. I'll take one for the team. Try the skinny jab and get skinny and fabulous. Anyway, my darlings, thank you for listening, as always. Love it if you could leave me a little like, a comment, a review would be amazing. The more you engage with my podcast, the more it pushes out to the algorithm, the more people listen, the more I get to do it. So thank you for sharing, thank you for liking, and thank you for all your wonderful feedback. You can find me on Instagram at the Clueless Mum Pod or at Lady Nadia Essex. Come and have a chat with me on Instagram. I am absolutely available. I want to hear your thoughts. I'll see you next week. Bye, darlings.